Smiley Morning Show. It is 28 minutes after the hour, y'all. Man, we are having so much fun this morning. It's a lot going on. We are live in the studio, our studio, Dallas, Texas. Shout out to 94.5. Our next guest is celebrating his 40th pastoral. Oh, yeah, pastoral.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. You know, see, some black will say pastors up, pastoral. Well, that means that he's been
storyling.
Embedded in the
Yes.
Yes, sir. Praise the Lord. Our pastoral. Look at that. They putting words in here in the script. What is it? Prophetic? Did I pronounce that right? That's right, y'all. Pastor, passionate leader, social activist for sure, and civil rights activist. Welcome to the Rickey Smiley Morning Show. The one and only Reverend Dr. Frederick Douglass Haynes III.
In the building.
Yay. And Pastor Haynes, you serve as a visionary, innovative, as a senior pastor of Friendship West Missionary Baptist Church, Dallas, Texas. And when I moved to Dallas, Texas, I told Sharonda at the front desk, I said, I need to find a church, but I need for my pastor to be a civil rights leader, because that's where I come from. The man that baptized me was one of Dr. King's soldiers, Reverend Edward Gardner,
Right.
or whatever. And back then, when you joined the church, you had to join the NAACP and the SCLC right upon giving your life to Christ. And I said, I need to find a church that's a civil rights leader that does community service. I don't care about none of the other stuff. She said, go to Friendship West. Remember I called you?
You know it.
I went over to Friendship West. We had a meeting. I said, what y'all do in the community?
Right.
Like I interviewed you and you was like, I was like, okay, this is my church right here. This is my guy.
Right.
Man, Pastor Haynes, it's been 40 years.
Yeah, long time, man.
40 years.
And Ricky, you've set the record for the longest to finish new member orientation. We still haven't completed it.
Call him out. Call him out, Pastor Haynes. Let him know. How long it's been?
That new members class hard.
He started 15 years ago?
Yeah. It's not completed.
It's not completed.
He's still a new member. He's still a new member.
We got the one and only, the beautiful.
The beautiful.
The beautiful, the one and only.
Uh-oh.
Looking like she's 26 years
Yeah.
old.
What?
One of the most talented singers of all time. Boy, that church version of I Feel Good all over
What?
that choir in the background.
Come on, man.
The church, not the regular version, the church version. That, ladies and gentlemen, Stephanie Mills.
What?
Yeah. The queen.
Thank you. I'm 66. I just had my 66th.
What?
birthday.
You on 60?
The lies you tell. Get out.
Stop the music, sir. Excuse us. Excuse me.
March 22nd, I turned 66.
Oh my goodness.
You don't look nothing like no. If the top number, I would say 33, 34.
No.
Like real. No.
Oh, yeah, for real.
Look at you. I'm serious. 33, 34 years old. Like, I'm serious. That's how young you look, Miss Stephanie.
Thank you.
Flawless.
And you know I love you. We
go way back.
We go way back.
And I'm only here because of you and Pastor Haynes. Because, honey, I don't do nothing on show day.
I know. We know.
I love you, though.
I love you too. Cause Brad,
Okay.
Yeah. Come on, Brad.
Come on, Brett.
We had a whole, at Pastor Haynes, we had a whole thing. We played I Feel Good all over. We had a whole, remember that we played when we do songs that stay in your head all day?
Oh yes, honey. You know, I was telling Miss Mills, I love Stephanie Mills, honey, and all her
The
music.
church version of I Feel
Yeah.
with the choir in
Yeah.
the background, the extended version.
The
I
extended.
did a whole video with that song in the car. It went viral.
Wow.
I was in that song get you in your feelings.
Oh,
But-
yeah.
And then we listen to this right here. Let me tell you how cool my pastor is, Dr. Frederick Douglass Haynes. So for pastor's anniversary, one time he brought in Frankie Beverly. So this year for the 40th pastor's anniversary, we having
The one and only.
the one and only
He brought me in, yes.
Stephanie Mills.
I appreciate that,
It's just
Pastor Haynes.
unbelievable.
Listen, and that we have a connection because I used to preach at her church in Brooklyn, New York, Cornerstone Baptist Church.
Yes, Dr. Sandy F. Ray.
Dr. Sandy F. Ray and her mother, Sandy Ray did my dad's funeral too.
Ah.
But her mother and father, real faithful. They'd come up to me after church and they would say, okay, you had a good sermon. Now let us tell you about Stephanie. And they would go 5-10 minutes talking about Stephanie Mills. You know,
Right.
folk are in line to speak and they talking about Stephanie Mills the whole time. I said, okay, I'm gonna meet her one day.
Right.
And so she said, well, she's in North Carolina this year. Well, she's in this city this year. She's here this year. But one year we gonna connect y'all. And so 40 years later.
And my sister loved you. She used to always talk about you,
Wow.
Pastor Haynes.
I remember her. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 And she's still putting on a concert like it seemed like Brad. It just seems like the more you do it, the better you get. The more like you like a show.
Thank you.
Like straight up singing.
You know, I enjoy it. I really do enjoy it, and I'm doing it at my own pace and the way I want to. And I have a great manager, of course, that knows
Shout out
me.
to Earl.
Yeah, and
Indianapolis on. Everybody, they listen to us in nap time. Everybody in nap time know 317 amp in the building. Everybody know who amp is in nap time.
and I was when I sing every day. So I sing to my music so I can sound somewhat like I sounded back in the day.
Right.
That's important because when you see your favorite artist performing live, you want them to sound like the album, the CD that we used to listen to.
That's what I told her. And I'm like, when I saw a concert recently, she and Pat LaBelle, she sang like the album, and I loved it. I was like, oh, all
I'm so
my
happy
songs.
you
honey.
said that because I really try to sing
Yeah.
like that.
You did, honey. It was amazing.
Man, and Pastor, so we doing a double interview. So we're gonna go back and forth. Right, Brad. Okay. Now, Pastor Haynes, as a pastor in Dallas, Texas, what's been the hardest thing you had to deal with while pastor, being a pastor for the past 40 years?
Well, I mean, the ongoing struggle for our rights as a people, the fight for justice has not stopped. As a matter of fact, I think it's intensified and become more subversive. And so, and we have to realize that what goes on with public policy is eventually going to come to our address. And so when we look at what's happening in Austin right now, in terms of all the bills being passed, as bad as the last legislative session was in terms of suppressing the vote, this year it's going to be worse. Ricky, do you know that they are removing the possibility of students on college campuses having a voting precinct? And if I go to the University of Texas, 50,000 students, and I can't get a voting machine on campus with 40 to 50,000 students, I mean, you were not only suppressing my vote, but you were disenfranchising me. That is going on right now. We talk about what's happening in Florida. We're right in Austin, Texas. They're passing laws against diversity, equity, and inclusion because they do not want that at this time. And so we see Tennessee, we see Florida, but Texas in a real silent, quiet way is messing with our rights, and we won't know it until it hits us later. And so that, for me, getting us involved, because when folk have declared war on you and you don't fight back, there's something wrong with you. You've often said that whenever you see injustice going on, it's kind of like what Pavlov's dog, you say, it just triggers something within you to fight. And so for me, I feel that. And so for me, church is not just what we do on Sunday. Sunday gets us ready for what we do in the streets during the week to make a difference and impact, because again, public policy will come to your address and mess up everything. You living your best life, and all of a sudden, here comes public policy and injustice violating that. So for me, that's been the challenge.
Yes, sir.
That I can't just be inspirational. I've got to also get in the streets and fight for our rights, and the struggle continues.
All right, y'all, we got the one and only Pastor Frederick Douglass Haynes and the beautiful, lovely, I'm so excited to have both of y'all here, Stephanie Mills, in the studio. More Rickey Smiley Morning Show coming up. All right, y'all, everybody make some noise. It is 15 before the top of the hour, y'all. We are with the beautiful songstress, actress, Grammy Award winner, Miss Stephanie Mills.
Yes, building! Aha!
Also, Pastor Frederick Douglass Haynes in the building.
Yes, sir!
Ms. Mills, did you know that he's a member of this morning show?
Yes,
Yeah, he come.
Sure is.
He bring that word every morning.
he does bring the word. I really respect him. He's a true, beautiful black man.
Absolutely love Dr.
I
Haynes.
need that recorded so I can just play that every
Right.
single day.
Let them know.
Yes, Stephanie Mills said
Hey,
I'm a
Brad.
beautiful black man.
Brad,
Message.
Pastor Haynes got the preaching. Was that 2 or 3 Sundays ago?
Yeah.
That man preached so hard his socks came out.
Was flapping at the toe.
Yeah, the socks came out. His shoes and stuff started unraveling.
Wow.
That's how hard he preached.
Yeah.
I'm talking. I almost jumped up and ran out of there. I'm talking. He was on one. I said, right, man. Listen, so I have to ask. You got into the business, at a young age.
Yes.
And ain't it crazy, Ron, to be sitting here talking to somebody that actually did stuff with Michael Jackson? Like what?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yes.
I'm over here shaking.
Whoever would have thought Pastor Haynes, you ever thought you'd be sitting next to Stephanie Mills and we at home watching The Wiz, cause
Right.
couldn't afford to go see it at the movie, had to wait for it to come on. watching The Wiz, and that was 1976.
No,
What?
we actually opened in 1974.
No.
What?
Yeah, January 5th, 1974, and I was in it for 5 years. The Wiz won 7 Tonys. They can talk about that.
Really?
Wow.
Yes. Well, Derek Williams, who's one of the executive producers, called and asked me. He first called Donald Lawrence and then called me and said, "Do you want to do this part? It's a part for a 60-year-old woman, and it's Birdie, and it's called Pride." I was like, yeah. After they got the business straightened, I was like, yeah, I'll do it. So I flew to Canada, and we shot it in 17 days.
What?
And nephew
Wow.
Tommy was my son.
Right.
Erica Campbell played pastor. I forget the pastor's name, but she played the pastor in the show. So it was wonderful. And I hadn't done any acting in a long time because nobody would really give me a job.
Right.
So I hadn't done it, so I was so excited. The only thing I was worried about was remembering my lines.
Right.
Oh no, I was just looking at Stephanie, and I was talking to her earlier about all her music and what have you. But the song, I mean, me and my friend Kevin love, honey, the music. But you know what? I have this question here now.
Now, let's get into the argument. Cause I think her signature song is this. I feel good all over. That's the one that tear my soul up. But you said, well,
Keep away, girls. This one's all mine, honey.
oh yeah, you will pick a jealous.
Don't I talk about it,
You
Brad?
say that every day.
Yes, I love it.
I told him, I said that song was written by Nick Ashford and Valerie Simpson. They
Really?
produced it. Yep, they produced it.
Wow.
They're like my favorite couple. May he rest in peace. But they're
Right.
like my favorite couple.
Yeah.
How?
Come on,
Say,
Lord.
Brad. Come on, bring it home.
That's
Come
all,
on,
man.
Brad.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Come on.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes.
Thank you.
So yeah, but we're talking to the fabulous, honey, the fabulous, the divine is Stephanie Mills. Now, so Stephanie, you recently performed your signature song, "You Never Knew" Love Like This, honey, on the Tamron Hall show.
Yes.
And halfway through the song, girl, you brought, honey, your son Farad.
Yes.
Who has Down syndrome on the stage.
Yes.
So talk to us about your son and the impact he has on your life.
Oh my God. I had Farad when I was 45. And the doctors were like, oh, well, he's going to be disfigured and this and that. And I was like, I don't care. If he has one eye, my baby and I go rock this world together. And I promised him when I had him that we would rock it. But he thinks he's Amp's boss. He's at the hotel sleeping. He wanted to come, but I said, you're going to be sleeping tomorrow. He's at the hotel sleeping, but he is absolutely amazing. He's the best thing I've ever done. He's an A student. He's written a book, Farad J, and he's worked on his second book that's coming out soon.
Yeah.
And he already has the third book in his mind. So
Really?
he is just amazing. I mean, if he was to come in here, he'd totally want to take over.
Okay.
Right. And I'm just enjoying it because all of this wrapped around the 40th anniversary. But see, we need to encourage more pastors to do stuff like this for the pastor's anniversary.
But I don't think all pastors are like Pastor Haynes.
Come on now.
Because he's really for the culture.
Right.
He's really for us.
Yeah.
And he hasn't drank the Kool-Aid.
I've seen him get death threats.
Really?
And what?
Yeah.
Well, call me.
We done had to get in cars
I got
You a
you,
real
baby.
one. You a real
I
one.
got you.
Oh yeah.
and safely get him home like security.
Really?
Because remember now, you in Texas and you out here protesting civil rights, going up against the KKK and the Trumpies and all of this kind of stuff. The death threats and stuff that he has gotten over the years.
Oh, it's crazy.
Because everybody, it takes guts, Miss Mills, to stand up for something like that and taking some of the heat that Dr. King took with the death threats and all that kind of stuff. So just all of this celebrating Pastor Haynes and having you to come here and be here for us for our 40th pastor's church anniversary. We just so happy. Back when Friendship West had the air conditioning in the back sticking out the window.
The Wild Wild West.
The
baby.
old Friendship West would be so hot if you don't get to Sunday school, you can't get a seat.
They had to still put the chairs in the aisle.
Yeah, right. They gotta go get chairs from the Sunday school and put the chairs down the aisle, and he make all the men get up, let the ladies get
Sit
seated,
down.
and the air conditioning in the window be on blast in Sunday school because it's gonna get hot. And then they start cracking the windows, folks start shouting. The paramedics used to come every Sunday because somebody would pass out. That's how hard he used to. That's how hard he used to. And then on Pastor's anniversary, when they put the living room furniture, when they put the living room furniture at the front, and the pastor in the first wife, and the first wife had a big hat, and she's blocking all the blessings.
Yeah.
All the blessings are being blocked. All the old Friendship West. We are happy to have you here to celebrate.
I am so happy to be here. You just don't know. And I'm gonna sing my heart out too.
Oh my God.
We already know that.
I'm wearing some Nike socks with my church shoes. I'm gonna take off and start running, girl. I rededicate my life to Mike. Gary, you got Gary. Gary, we gonna have to go.
I know, honey. I don't want to be there, honey.
Can't wear that, but you can go.
Wait up, Pastor Haynes.
I'm sorry.
Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only. Yes. Dr. Frederick Douglass Haynes and Stephanie Mills. In the Let everybody know how you can be followed, how they can follow you.
Oh, on Instagram, I am Stephanie Mills. Instagram and Facebook and
There-
Twitter.
There it is, y'all. Stephanie Mills, Pastor Haynes.